Monday. It is February 9th, 2026, and it's time for your Monday market update. I'm joined by nobody. It's just myself, Andrew Smart, yours truly, bringing you guys your McHenry kind of numbers for the last 7 days. Now, I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know there were some big things, like the Super Bowl, whatever it was. Just kidding. Big congratulations to the Seahawks last night. Great halftime performance by Bad Bunny. I'm not sure how you guys felt about it, but I thought it was great. Love his music as much as I wish I would have paid more attention in Spanish class and understood it thoroughly. I really do enjoy it, and I thought it was great. So I hope you guys did as well. But let's jump right into these McHenry County numbers for the last 7 days. Now, over the last 7 days, we did see 115 new listings, 100 go under contract, 45 price changes, 55 closed, 0 expired, and 36 hit the private network. Now, I just want to touch on that private network number once more for you guys. I did kind of run these numbers, and I know I touched on this last week, is that a lot of these private listings end up going under contract while they're in the private network, which you guys, as regular citizens, can't see. Only realtors can see these private listings, unless you're working with a realtor who is sending you them, okay? And about 20% of these private listings end up going under contract while they're in the private network. So if you're not working with a realtor, in all fairness, you're missing out on a lot of opportunities and chances that you could be having if you were working with one. So I just want to go ahead and throw that out there once more for you guys, okay? And a lot of headlines, so we obviously collect a lot of data and we go through a lot of different websites and look at all these headlines and kind of give you guys a consensus every week. But what a lot of headlines are reading this week is that the housing inventory took a hit this last week based off the data that was collected through when the snowstorm came and hit the U.S. With that data finally catching up, obviously because it's days, weeks behind sometimes, it is revealed that there's been a huge halt in new inventory and mortgage purchase applications, which is important because last week we talked about those mortgage purchase applications being extremely high. We saw a huge jump. They were up massive year over year. This week, they're down about 14%. They took a huge hit. Now, according to Housing Wire, where this data was pulled from, this type of big week-to-week decline is something we would see if mortgage rates jumped 75 basis points, but rates are steady. They're really staying at around that 6% like we've talked about, 6.1. They have not really moved at all the last 3 weeks. So this is weather-related according to Housing Wire. So for those of you that like to read these headlines and freak out and go, oh my goodness, inventory is going crazy, mortgage purchase applications are down, this is not good. It's okay. We should see things start to rebound here. Looking back at our numbers quickly, our numbers are actually up week over week in terms of under contracts, new listings, price changes, close. I mean, everything has been up this last week. And this is actually the time of year where we quote unquote start our spring market right after the Super Bowl. We see things really start to kick off here. So I'm really intrigued on what the next 2 weeks of numbers are going to look like for us here in the McHenry County area as our spring market arrives. As you know, the weather is above freezing outside. Hopefully we can get to that point soon. Fingers crossed here. We'll take what we can get. In other news that we read today is that 30% of homeowners have a mortgage rate over 5%. Now, some of you guys are sitting there with your 2 and 3% going ha ha ha, which if you do have that number as your mortgage rate, I mean, congratulations to you. That's fantastic. But to put that into some perspective, in 2022, after mortgage rates hit those record lows, according to CNBC, barely 10% of homeowners had rates over 5%. Just 4 years later, that share has jumped to 30%. And about 20% of that total actually have rates over 6%, okay? So what does this mean for you guys? So we continuously talk about, these rates kind of being the new norm. That 6% is really that new norm. And I think the last couple of years, people have finally realized that. And slowly, that total number of rates above 5% has accumulated over time because people have finally realized that this 6% really is just the norm. And they can't let this number hold them back anymore. They can't, continue to live in this small, cramped house just because they're at a 2 or 3% interest rate. They really have to make these choices based on their lifestyles and their lives. They can't be, married to this little number, married to this payment when they really need to grow or they need to downsize, they need to do this, do that, whatever it is. So as much as these rates have played, such an impact the last few years, that just isn't the case anymore. And those who have continued to wait are starting to realize it's time and this is the new normal. Now, I think we're going to continue to see this over the next couple of years here, at least the next year for sure. We're going to continue to see people, come out from their 2 or 3% interest rates. I know Miranda can speak from personal experience. She's doing it herself right now. I mean, sometimes you really just kind of have to get a little bit outside your comfort zone to really find what you need in life at the moment, okay? So I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed. Those are your numbers, and that's your update for February 9th, 2026. Happy Monday. Let's have a week.